listening. We really miss you at school, but hopefully you're finding enough activities to do at home to keep yourselves occupied. If you're listening to this video, that probably means that you listened to me reading a bit of Our Peculiar Pegs last time. So I'm going to carry on reading today and hopefully finish the chapter that we were on, which was chapter 11. So get yourselves comfy. You could maybe get yourself a piece of paper and do a bit of drawing whilst you're listening, or just simply listen, or maybe follow along if you've got the book. Okay, so you can't just swoop in every now and then and parent me, you know, she snapped, grinding her teeth. And stop saying Mum left us. She didn't leave us. She died. She's dead. End of story. I'm not a little girl, Dad. I did a lot of growing up when you're not around. They pulled into Gran's drive and Poppy slammed her way out of the snotty, clean-smelling car. Gran was waiting for her at the front door. It hurt Poppy that she was so angry with Dad. He hadn't done anything, really, but that was just it. He hadn't done anything. As soon as the going got tough, Dad nipped off on a group cycling retreat to the Elbs where he could meet other like-minded people. When Poppy went down to dinner, she had made up her mind not to be civil. Gran tried to fill the silences by plying Dad with questions about what it was like acting as legal counsel for new companies in Canada. He wasn't touching his spinach and walnut pasta bake with extra cheese. He was just moving it around in little circles with his spoon. Churchill sat on the floor beside Dad, gazing up at him as if to say, "Are you going to eat that?" Dad didn't seem to like Churchill and without thinking asked, "Can pigs carry diseases?" Gran finished her mouthful and said, "Yes. They're just like people that way." Dad threw Churchill an awkward glance and shifted in his chair. "You're not going to catch swine flu," Poppy muttered bitterly. "I've had some exciting news," Gran interjected, looking pleased with herself. "I've been commissioned to design and build a costume for 3 of the leads in a new West End musical called Old Caro. "That's excellent news," Dad chimed. "What's it about?" "It's a comedy about 6 female archaeologists working in the Valley of the Kings." Oh, year 5, so we know what the Valley of the Kings is when we studied our Egyptians. Poppy didn't say anything, and Gran threw her a sideways glance. "I've decided I'm going to cook for you both tomorrow," Dad announced, putting down his spoon and folding his arms as if he was a news anchor. "Something healthy and nutritious," he went on. Granny and Poppy watched him. "Since when have you ever cooked?" Gran asked, half joke, half jab. "I can cook. Ask Poppy," Dad insisted. "I once saw you microwave some leftover pad thai," Poppy offered. Dad frowned. "Well, I'm glad you brought this up, actually," he said, dodging the insult and putting his napkin on the table, "because—" But Gran cut him off short. She seemed to know exactly what he was going to say. "Because you've met someone," she interrupted. "Sorry?" "Because you've met someone who showed you how to cook, and this is your way of telling us." Dad was stunned. As a matter of fact, yes, I have met someone," he said pleasantly. "She's a lawyer, actually. Very smart." Gran was amazing. She was civil, she was calm, as if she'd known the day would come, but her smile still looked hurt. Poppy, on the other hand, was sitting angry, black curses through her head, along with thoughts like, "Will I have to call her Mum?" "A lawyer?" Gran asked. When does she teach you to cook?" "Fibre-free juices," Dad said proudly. "Oh," said Gran. "Fibre-free juices," Poppy repeated. "So this woman teaches you how to squeeze an orange and all of a sudden you're marrying her?" "I'm not marrying her. I haven't even kissed her yet." "Blech, I don't want to know." Poppy covered her ears. Dad smiled weakly. "Poppy," Gran snapped, staring at her across the table with firm, disappointed eyes. Poppy was shocked. Gran never snapped at her. Wasn't Gran on her side? She'd never usually give up an opportunity to pick a bone with Dad. "What's her name?" Gran asked politely. "Josie," Dad said softly. Poppy reared up like a phantom horse. "That is not her name. That's Mum's name." "She can't help her name, Poppy," Dad pleaded. "She's a really lovely woman, and she has 2 cats. You're bound to like her." "Oh yeah, I'm sure," Poppy drawled. "She's a lawyer with cats who cycles and makes fibre-free juice. What's not to like?" "Poppy, you've said quite enough," Gran cut in, staring at her again with those powerful eyes. Poppy snatched up her cutlery and plate. Moving around the table, she aggressively cleared Gran's and Dad's dishes as well, but she wasn't quite finished. And like it or not, this, she pointed to his untouched pasta beak, is what we eat here. Poppy did the dishes and had them washed, dried and put away within 10 minutes. She slunk up to bed and waited until she heard Gran and Dad bidding each other good night. When they were definitely asleep, she tiptoed downstairs to Gran's computer and started Googling. On Dad's Facebook page, she quickly found Josephine Parsons, who worked at Bristol and Davenport solicitors. Poppy snorted in disgust. There were 1 or 2 pictures of Dad and this Josie cycling in Canada. The truth was, Josie did look like a perfectly decent person, despite the cats, but Poppy wasn't going to have any of that. Josie Parsons was a conniving, manipulative creature with kind blue eyes, a crooked smile and frizzy brown hair. Poppy angrily clicked too fast and accidentally closed the web page. When she opened it up again and typed in Josie, the first name to come up was Josie Slub. Poppy clicked. There was Mum, as alive as anyone could be, wearing a green dress, her eyes closed, her arms around Dad's neck as he pecked her on the cheek. Poppy scrolled through. One of their weekends in Cornwall as a family, several pictures of them on the beach with Mum kicking the waves and Dad crouching beside a jellyfish. Why had no one deleted Mum's account? Her page was just left here, floating somewhere in cyberspace like a lost child. Some of Mum's more distant friends had written goodbye messages on Mum's wall, which Poppy stopped herself from reading because she knew they'd make her angry, sad and disgusted all in once. As she flicked through the pictures, she wished desperately that Mum had said something significant the last time she saw her, some parting advice that would stay with Poppy for the rest of her life. In truth, Mum had just said, "Pops, don't forget your lunch." That was it. The last thing. The last time Poppy heard her mum's voice, she was telling her not to forget her salmon and cucumber sandwich. She watched her fingers trembling ever so slightly above the mouse for a moment before closing the browser window. She typed panic attack symptoms in the search bar and waited for Gran's ancient computer to sputter something into the screen. Then she clicked on the most promising-looking website. As she read, she got the distinct impression that what she was doing was not a good idea. The website listed all of what Poppy had experienced in the school laboratory and more. Everything except for rats spontaneously combusting. Anxiety, the website said every 10 words. Apprehension, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress, sweating, twitching, itching, imagining. Poppy closed the window again. She was right. This wasn't a good idea. Her fingers reopened Mum's Facebook page without her asking them to. There Mum was in a green dress again. Poppy's neck stiffened. The dress was the one that Gran had made for Mum. Poppy felt for the silk book in her pocket. She slowed her breathing and held the book up against the dress on the screen. The black spot in Poppy's mind from when her mum had died had clouded her memory. The silk on the book in her hand and Mum's dress were definitely cut from the same cloth. The white patch on the back of her head began to itch. This new knowledge made her feel more connected to the book somehow. Why were they both the same silk? She dreamed about her mother that night, the horrible dream where the woman from the train stood in her way and she couldn't see Mum's face, just her green dress. Before she knew it, it was morning, and the night had passed as if Poppy had only blinked her eyes. And that is the end of that chapter. I'm on to chapter 12 on deaf ears. Okay, so we shall start reading that next time. Thank you for listening, and hopefully we will see you soon. If not, listen in to carry on reading Peculiar Pegs.